G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. We've got an exciting one today. Today we are doing the Spica golf launch monitor versus the Foresight GC3 in a head-to-head comparison. However, I'm having issues. Now, the Spica seems to be picking up all the shots. The Foresight is very sensitive when it comes to other launch monitors and interference, and I'm going to show you that now. So I'll kick over, and I'm going to still do this test, but look, take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to be doing individual testing that I think will hold a bit more weight. I'll show you some head-to-head shots now. So the Foresight is connected to GS Pro. The Spica is connected to my iPad. As always, we're going to start with our little 67-yard 3/4 shots with a lob wedge, and then we'll move up to pitching wedge, 7-iron, 4-iron, driver, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so first up, let's do a little 3/4 shot with a lob wedge. These are going to be 67-yard shots, and look, what I want to show you now is the interference. So you can see the Foresight there is really struggling with lock. You can see how the green bar at the bottom of GS Pro, it keeps going white and then green and then white and then green. And I think the infrared being shot out by the Spica is kind of pulsing. And I think that it's every time it sends out a really big flash, that's when the GC3 kind of loses ball lock. So I've got it to work, but it's intermittent. And it's just, you know, if I can time it to where they're both locked onto the ball, it works. But how much interference these launch monitors are getting, is this a valid test? Yeah, we'll do individual testing. But we're going to do this test anyway. Okay, they're both red there. So we had 59.8 ball speed on the GC3 versus 60.2 ball speed on the Spica, so that's good. Let's look at launch direction. They both came out left. Now, the Foresight had a right spin axis, so that shot essentially faded, and you can see the 140 right spin there. The Spica had a baby draw. So my theory and what I thought with this launch monitor, without even testing them, I just played, you know, that par 3 course on GS Pro with the Spica, and what I felt like the Spica, it had a draw bias. Let's see if that is actually true. Okay, so that was the first shot and it registered, which was good. Both of them though, let's look at spin rate. Sorry, we've had, let's go total spin. So 85.99 for total spin on the GC3. And if we look at total spin on the Spica, it only does backspin. That's annoying. I can't get total spin. No. Okay, so backspin there, we've had 86.23 on the Spica versus 85.98. So, I mean, yeah, very, very close. Good for backspin numbers. All right, let's go again. Okay, not a bad shot. Again, it was a little pull. Both of them reading a little pull. The Spica had 59.1 for ball speed versus 58.5, so that's within tolerances. Spin rates, we've had 88.31 on the Spica versus 87.46. That's really good. Vertical launch angle, we've had 29.9 on the GC3 versus 29.1 on the Spica. So really solid data. Again, Foresight saying we've had a baby fade versus the Spica saying we've had a baby draw. Okay, it read that one as well, which was good. Ball speeds, 59.3 versus 59.4, so extremely good for ball speeds. Both coming out slightly left. The Foresight again had a right spin axis. The Spica had a right spin axis, which is good. So yeah, both of them having a baby fade, the Foresight having a bit more of a fade than the Spica. Backspin numbers are good. They're within 100, which is really good to see. And again, vertical launch angle, we've had 30.8 on the GC3 versus 29.5 on the Spica. So yeah, very impressed. These shots seem to be really good. Again, though, we are seeing the tiniest of, you know, a bit more of a draw bias on the GolfJoy compared to the GC3. Okay, that one registered again. So 62.5 ball speed versus 62.7. 29.9 for vertical launch on the GolfJoy versus 31, so slightly lower on the GolfJoy. Spin axis was 1.4 right versus 3.1 right on the Foresight. Spin rates 9,150 versus 9,200. So, I mean, that is pretty good. I think I actually get total spin. Yeah, I do. I get total spin on the unit itself. So 91.54 versus 92.25. So that is well within tolerances. Both had a fade. We had 225 right spin on the GolfJoy versus 502 right spin on the Foresight. Pretty interesting. Okay, let's hit some pitching wedges. To me, I mean, that's a big tick. Could it have been a little bit better? Yep, absolutely. I think the shot shape is potentially, as we start to get into the lower lofts, that's where we might start seeing some discrepancy in shot shape. On those shots there, because you've got such a high spinning golf ball and you're hitting a shorter shot, you can't really see massive differences in spin axis. Okay, let's go to pitching wedge now. I did take the club sticker off my pitching wedge because I initially thought that it was the toe sticker that was interfering with the Foresight. I might put that back on now. Okay, you can see that Foresight just really struggling to maintain ball lock. Oh, that was a bad shot. That was horrendous. But we'll look at the data. We've had 96.5 ball speed on the Foresight, 96.8 ball speed on the GolfJoy. So that is really good. Spin rates, we've had 80.82 on the GolfJoy versus 80.99. Perfect. Shot shapes, we've had 441 right spin, 458 right spin. I mean, that is a pretty much identical shot. Launch angles, we've had 26.6 versus 27.4. I mean, look, that was seriously good. It literally read identical to the GC3 just then. Okay, that was my bad shot out the way. Let's hit some good ones. Okay, not too bad. We've had 103.2 for ball speed on the Foresight versus 103.8. So, what, 0.6 more mile an hour on the GolfJoy. Launch angles, we've had 27 on the GolfJoy versus 27.8. Spin axis, we've had 0.9 left on the GolfJoy versus 0.3 right. So this is what I'm talking about. A little bit more of a left axis or bias on the GolfJoy. For spin numbers, we've had 87.53 on the GolfJoy versus 86.24, well within tolerances, really good. So yeah, pretty accurate. We're just seeing a baby draw on the GolfJoy and a baby fade on the Foresight. Oh, I hit that so good. That was a nice one, and the Foresight missed it, unfortunately. But again, that was a negative 4.3 spin axis on the GolfJoy, so quite a... I mean, it's not a massive draw. How much left side spin is that? That's 661, so it is a decent draw. Okay, let's go again. Oh, it was horrendous, so of course the Foresight got that. I've almost shanked that. 98.8 ball speed versus 99 ball speed, so that's pretty much identical. That one there, we've had 1.7 right spin axis with the GolfJoy and a spin rate of 75.34. 3.5 spin axis on the Foresight with 76.75. So spin rates are almost identical. Shot shape is the same. However, the GolfJoy's gone a bit straighter. It's not faded as much. In terms of launch angles, we've had 22.9 on the GolfJoy versus 24 on the GC3. So pretty good. Again, though, we're seeing that slightly more like draw bias from the GolfJoy. Okay, the Foresight missed that one. We'll go again. Oh, that was a nice shot. That was a really nice shot. Again, a really nice shot. It's just not getting them. And this is, you know, head-to-head testing is fraught with danger. It's fraught with interference. But we'll try and get this done. Okay, really nice swing and it captured it. Good. This is what I want to show off. Okay, 105.4 ball speed versus 106. Ball speeds are good so far. We've had a spin axis of negative 4.5 on the GolfJoy versus negative 0.6 on the Foresight. That is a big difference. Spin rates, we've had 85.10, I think it was. 85.17 on the GolfJoy versus 86.25. That's fine. Backspins are fine. It's just that negative 669 side spin on the GolfJoy versus negative 94. That's a big difference. And that, you're really going to notice that when you hit these pitching wedges. So that is a big difference. And that's exactly what I thought it was doing the other day when I played that par 3 course. So it's good to see that I've confirmed that theory. Let's do one more pitching wedge. Oh, that was nice. Of course, the Foresight missed it. Yep, nice shot there. And they both got it. Good. Okay, 104 ball speed on the Foresight versus 104.5. Ball speeds are good. 26.3 for vertical launch angle on the GolfJoy versus 27. So the GolfJoy is about half a degree lower vertical launch angle than the Foresight. Funnily enough, so is the iMini, so is like the Pro T. So I tend to think that the Foresight is potentially reading a degree high when everything else is agreeing, and that one's wrong. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at spin axis. So we had negative 425 for left spin on the GolfJoy, negative 181. So there you go again. That's again, we're seeing that left bias. For the backspin, 8211 versus 8300. So spin numbers, as in backspin numbers, are fine. No issues. Everything looks really good on the GolfJoy, apart from that spin axis. That's the one metric that right now, and I thought it was the case, it's showing us that it is slightly more left bias than the other devices. And I've confirmed this with the Pro T. We're using the GC3 today because it's the, you know, gold standard. Okay, let's go to 7 irons now. Yeah, nice shot there. We've had 122.4 ball speed on the Foresight versus 123.2, so less than a mile an hour, big tick. Spin rates, we've had 60.85 on the GolfJoy, 59.49 on the Foresight. To me, that's within tolerances. Launch angle, both coming out slightly left. And then side spin, we've had negative 104 on the GolfJoy versus negative 162. So that's the first shot we've seen a bigger like draw. And look, we're talking a few revolutions of the ball, but we've seen a slightly bigger draw on the Foresight versus the GolfJoy. That's the first shot. Launch angles, 19.1 on the GolfJoy, 20 on the GC3. So yeah, spin axis, negative 1 on the GolfJoy versus negative 1.6 on the Foresight. Yeah, really nice shot. Oh, go in the hole. Lovely. 122.5 for ball speed on the Foresight. We've had 123.4 for ball speed on the GolfJoy. So what, a mile an hour quicker on the GolfJoy. In terms of launch angles, 20.3 on the GolfJoy versus 21 on the Foresight. Spin rates, 58.45 on the GolfJoy versus 58.74. Spin rates have been fantastic. Spin axis, we've had negative 49 for side spin on the GolfJoy versus 32 to the right. So both of them, I mean, pretty much dead straight. But we've got to talk about the spin axis. Negative 0.5 on the GolfJoy. We've had positive 0.3. So a baby fade on the Foresight, baby draw on the GolfJoy, but not much. I mean, both pretty close to dead straight on that shot. Yeah, Really nice shot there. A little bit of a fade on the foresight. We've had 121.8 for ball speed, 122.4 for ball speed there on the GolfJoy. In terms of spin axis, 3.0 to the right on the GolfJoy, 3.4 to the right. So both of them reading, I mean, pretty similar. 61.89 for backspin on the GolfJoy versus 61. So backspin numbers are fantastic. 19.3 for vertical launch versus 20.2. I mean, look, I honestly think the GolfJoy is right because I always find that with my Pro T, with my iMini, with even the Square, the vertical launches always seem to be about a degree lower than the GC3. But yeah, I mean, that shot there was pretty similar on both devices. So really good. Oh, that was such a nice shot. Such a nice shot. We'll go again. Again, a really nice one. Oh, I healed it. So of course, the foresight got it. 118.9 for ball speed versus 119.8, so a mile an hour quicker on the GolfJoy. Spin rates 58.35 on the GolfJoy versus 58.24, so backspin numbers are perfect. Spin axis 1.9 right on the GolfJoy, 2.2 right on the GC3. Well within tolerances. Well within tolerances. Vertical launch angle 18.4 on the GolfJoy, 19.4 on the GC3. I mean, that was pretty good. Looking at side spin, 194 right on the GolfJoy versus 222 right on the GC3. Okay, get one of my solid shots. Foresight. Oh, of course you missed that. That was pounded. That was absolutely hammered. No, I left that out right. Horrible shot. Okay, 121.4 for ball speed. We've had 122.1. So what, a mile an hour, or no, less than a mile an hour there. So not bad. Within tolerances. Looking at the vertical launch, 20.5 versus 21.3, similar theme. Spin rates, 60.51 on the GolfJoy, 60.75. I mean, that is seriously good. Spin axis, 2.2 to the right on the GolfJoy versus 4.4 to the right on the foresight. So yes, there's a very subtle but consistent theme going on where the GolfJoy tends to be just a slightly bit more draw bias than the foresight. And I did notice that when I played on GS Pro. There we go. It got a solid shot there. Okay, 123.6 for ball speed on the foresight versus 124.2. So pretty good for ball speed, slightly higher on the GolfJoy, but within tolerances. Side spin, 319 left on the GolfJoy, 99 left on the foresight. So that confirms it there. Slightly more draw bias on the GolfJoy. 61.23 for spin rates, for backspin rates, 60.75, pretty much identical, well within tolerances. 19.5 for vertical launch, 20.6 for vertical launch on the GC3. So again, consistent theme. -3 spin axis on the GolfJoy, -0.9 spin axis on the GC3. So again, confirming my theory with the 7 irons is we're seeing a tiny bit more draw biasy on the GolfJoy compared to the GC3, and honestly compared to my Pro T as well, because when I did play with the GolfJoy on course, that's exactly what I thought it was doing. So it's good to be able to confirm that. In terms of all the other data though, it is seriously good. And even the shot shape, I mean, it's only very subtle, but it's definitely something that I think needs to be talked about. And I think GolfJoy need to address this, because if you're practicing in your simulator and you think you're hitting draws, and so you're trying to fade the ball, then when you get on course, you're going to be hitting excessive fades. So I think it's definitely something to talk about, and hopefully GolfJoy watch this and take it on board. I hit that so good. Oh man. That was such a nice shot. And the foresight missed it. Okay. No luck again. Yeah, it just doesn't like it, does it? There we go. Okay. 137.6 for ball speed on the foresight. 138.3 ball speed on the GolfJoy. So again, we're seeing, you know, half a mile an hour quicker from the GolfJoy. To me, that's within tolerances. Looking at the spin axis, negative 0.1 on the GolfJoy versus negative 0.6 on the GC3. So that is well within tolerances. For backspin, we had 37.84 on the GolfJoy versus 37.74 on the foresight. In terms of vertical launch, we've had 15.8 versus 16.7. So again, that theme continues. Negative 69 spin versus negative 41. It's an identical shot. Ah, come on, foresight. And again, just to reiterate, this is not the foresight, it's the interference. If I turned the GolfJoy off, the foresight would literally pick up every shot. Oh, that was horrendous. So the foresight got it. Okay, 128.6 for ball speed on the foresight versus 129.8 on the GolfJoy. So that just over a mile an hour there. In terms of spin rates, we've had 36.35 on the GolfJoy versus 36.24. Spin axis, 3.4 on the GolfJoy, negative 0.6 on the foresight. So I think that's the second shot we've seen where the GolfJoy has more of a fade than the GC3. In terms of side spin, 214 on the GolfJoy versus negative 39 on the foresight. Vertical launch, 14.9 versus 16. So yeah, spin rates are pretty much identical. So the only thing there was the shot shape, which funnily enough, the GolfJoy had more of a fade, which is rare. Come on, let's try and hit a good one and get both units to read it. Okay, not bad, we'll take it. We've had 138.3 for ball speed versus 138.8 on the GolfJoy, so well within tolerances. 15.7 for vertical launch on the GolfJoy, 16.5. We've had a fade on both devices, 164 right spin on the GolfJoy versus 215 spin, right spin on the foresight. 39.14 for the backspin, 39.25. I mean, pretty close. In terms of the axis, it was 2.4 to the right on the GolfJoy versus 3.4 to the right on the foresight. So look, they're pretty much identical. You're not really going to see any difference in those two shots. So 136.9 for ball speed on the foresight. Verse, did we capture that on the, yes we did, capture it on the GolfJoy. 138.3 on the GolfJoy. So just over a mile an hour quicker there on the GolfJoy. In terms of side spin, pretty much dead straight on the GolfJoy. It had 0.3 right. On the foresight, it actually had it going dead straight. So 0 for side spin, 0 for spin axis. I have sometimes seen that with the foresight when it misses the spin and the actual spin axis, sorry. So was it a misread? Was it actually 0? I mean, it was close to 0 on the GolfJoy, so potentially it was 0.0. 37.20 for backspin numbers, 37.25. I mean, those shots were pretty much identical. 15 for launch, or 15.2 versus 16.1. They are pretty much identical. Okay, let's try and get one more 4-iron, and then we'll hit some drivers. And the foresight missed that one. That was a nice shot. Again, really nice shot. Unfortunately, the foresight missed it. Oh, that was smoked. That was absolutely smoked. Come on. Let me hit one way out the heel so the foresight registers it. Oh, it's missing them. Not the best shot, but it registered on both devices. So 137.6 for ball speed on the GolfJoy, 137 for ball speed on the Foresight. Big tick. Spin axis, we've had 2.6 to the right on the GolfJoy versus 3.1 to the right. For spin numbers, 42.19 versus 40.49, well within tolerances. Vertical launch, we've had 15.5 versus 16.2. And then for side spin, we've had 193 versus 222. So pretty much identical. You're not going to be able to notice any difference between those. Okay, let's hit some drivers. So far, I mean, it's pretty good. There is a slight draw axis bias, like only slight. They both, oh no, the GolfJoy got that one. Foresight missed it. Okay. Again, Foresight just not getting it. What I will say in terms of these shots on the GolfJoy, I mean, these are exactly what I would expect to see from my driver. 163 ball speed. I've played a bit of golf today. I'm a bit slow. That checks out completely. Side spin, 288 to the right, checks out completely. All of that stuff there that I'm seeing, it looks good to me. Oh, that was horrendous. Tried to swing hard. We didn't get it on the Foresight. Oh, it's registered one. That was horrendous. 157.9 for ball speed on the Foresight, and we've had 158.5 for ball speed on the GolfJoy, so within a mile an hour, that is well within tolerances. For shot shape, 560 left on the GolfJoy versus 489 left, checks out. Spin rates, 2300 on the GolfJoy versus 2100 on the Foresight. In terms of spin axis, we've had -14 on the GolfJoy versus -13.5 on the Foresight. Massive tick. I mean, honestly, massive tick. That was definitely out the toe. It was a toe hook. And I mean, they both read it perfectly. Okay. Again, we've had it register on the GolfJoy. And those numbers are exactly what I'd expect to see. I hit it slightly heel side, so the spin's kicked up. It's faded. I might have to do individual driving tests because it looks like as the ball speed's crept up a bit, the Foresight is just not liking it. Okay, we got one to read. 164 for ball speed, 164.2 versus, let me get the ball in the hitting zone, versus 165.1. So within a mile an hour. Slightly higher on the GolfJoy. We've consistently seen that through the test. It's been anywhere from half a mile to a mile an hour quicker. That's exactly what we're seeing there. Spin axis, we've had -10.6 on the GolfJoy with 26.38 for backspin, 24.50 for backspin with the GC3. It's a couple of hundred RPM. That, to me, that is within tolerances. -9.1, so again, we're seeing a slightly more draw shape on the GolfJoy, but not much. I mean, really, you'd struggle to see that. So -489 for left spin on the GolfJoy versus -387 left spin on the Foresight. But in terms of all the other data, we're seeing a degree less launch on the GolfJoy. I mean, it's pretty good. It's within tolerances. Okay, good. Registered that one. We've had 163.9 for ball speed on the Foresight, 164.7 on the GolfJoy, so pretty close. We've had a -3 spin axis on the Foresight, so a draw. We've had a little fade on the GolfJoy, so 1.3 to the right. In terms of spin rates, 24.49 for backspin on the GolfJoy versus 24.74. Backspin numbers have been fantastic all day. So yeah, the only difference there is we had a baby draw with the Foresight, ever so slight baby fade with the GolfJoy. Pretty much dead straight. Okay, let's see if we can get one more to register and then we will call it. Okay, It registered on both. We've had 160.7 for ball speed, 161.3 for ball speed on the GolfJoy. Backspin numbers 2752 on the GolfJoy versus 2625. I left it open. It had a bit more spin on it. Look at that for spin axis. 3.8 on the GolfJoy, 3.8 on the Foresight. In terms of vertical launch, we've had 14.1 versus 14.7, 182 right spin on the GolfJoy, 172 right spin on the Foresight. I mean, yeah, pretty good. It is pretty good. Okay, that is the Spica 3 versus the GC3. And I've got to say, I mean, look, with the longer stuff, the spin axis was pretty good. With the shorter irons, like the pitching wedge and things, it did seem to have a bit more of a draw bias. I am going to have to do some individual testing. I'm going to have to do some just playing with the device on course just to really get to the bottom of it. I do think for me, right now, I feel like the GolfJoy has a little bit of work to do. It's still slightly draw bias. I just feel like it's slightly draw bias with the shorter irons. And we kind of saw that today in the test. Is it a deal breaker though? I don't think so. I think this is something they can definitely work on to improve, and I think they will improve this as the product gets a bit further into its life cycle. But straight off the bat, straight from release, it's pretty good. I mean, it is pretty good. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got a lot out of that. Let me know if you want to see individual testing, or let me know what you want to see with this device. If you've got any comments or questions, leave them down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.